Welcome to another episode of Spa Business Mastery. And today we have Spa Marketing with Delia. She is our marketing director here at Kirsten Foss Coaching, as well as the director of all things with Virtual Spa Business Management, our sister company that does done-for-you services for spas. So thanks for coming on again, Delia, for the podcast and sharing your knowledge, your extensive marketing knowledge. You've got a lot of it. And the beauty of it is that you've been in the spa industry for a very, very, very long time. So you have that really great blend of the weirdness of the spa industry and marketing, and how we can, how our industry can market a lot more effectively.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Happy to have you on here again. And each month, Delia is on the Spa Business Mastery podcast talking about marketing. So this is episode number 26, and we are on part 2 of Spa SEO marketing. So if you didn't listen to the first part of that podcast, which is episode 21, then go back and take a listen, because it's all about why SEO is a critical piece of your marketing for your spa business. And while most spa owners get really, really overwhelmed with SEO, search engine optimization, that's making sure that your website is easily found. So while we know as spa owners that we need to be found when it comes to SEO, I think most of them are really overwhelmed and end up, kind of tucking their head in the sand about it, because there's so many other things to do in your spa business. And when this feels like a huge learning curve, it's really easy to kind of put it on the back burner. But if you need more traffic coming into your business, you got to get on your SEO. So Delia, let's dive in. Maybe you can give us a little recap of the last episode that you did about why SEO is critical for spas.
Oh, sure. And, as spa experts, we're more talking spa talk versus, digital marketing terminology. So I think the key piece to it is just having a solid understanding of what it is, why you need it, whether you're trying to manage it yourself or you're outsourcing it to an SEO expert. Still having the fundamentals, I guess, of how it works and why it's needed is super important.
Oh, yeah.
And so last time we talked about what SEO is. So it's your search engine optimization, and that's your organic search results versus paid ads. And what that does is, I talked about it last time, how Google or whatever search engine that you're using has these little spiders that come along and crawl your website. And what they're looking for is relevancy. And relevancy based off of making sure that you've got the right content in there that your potential customers are searching for, and making sure that ties back to keeping that content very, very relevant and niched to who you are and the information that you're trying to communicate. So SEO comes into play in that, because there's certain pieces that you need to strategically place these SEO components to in order to make those spiders crawl your site properly and be able to understand the content that it is that you're displaying. And so if you have information on there that isn't relevant to what you talk about or what you do, then those spiders flag your website as irrelevant, and that's likely going to get you pushed down on those results page lower and lower. And ideally, you always want to be on page 1, and you want to be number 1 or number 2 on those search pages. So,
and they may even, like, spa owners may even think, like, they're looking at their website, like, say their homepage, and look at it and think, well, how is this not relevant?
Right.
I've got on here that I do, manicures and pedicures and facials and waxing, and yet I'm nowhere near page 1 of Google.
Right. Well, and I mean, the other part to that as well, too, is depending on how long you've had your website for. If you're a brand new website and you're expecting to be on page 1, the likeliness of that happening isn't going to happen, because it does take time for, I'll just use Google because that's the biggest one, for Google to crawl those sites and make sure that your website is that website that they want people to see first. So just keeping up with maintaining your SEO over time will help to get you on those pages. But like you said, if, yes, I have waxing in here. Yes, I have, skincare in here. But if you're not actually using specific words that your customers are searching for, or you don't have, certain descriptions in there that help to describe maybe what a service feature might be or what a product feature might be, then it makes it harder for Google to understand what it is that they need to show to those people who are searching.
So like essentially you just have to play by Google's SEO rules to get found or to show up on page one more often. And so Delia has made an SEO checklist for all of you to have a little, how many points have we got? We got 6 points here, just to have a little checklist to go through to make sure that you are optimizing your website for capturing new spa clients as much as possible. Now, with all of these 6 points of the checklist we're going to share with you, you may not understand them. And we're just going to give you the Coles Notes version about each one of them, because we know most of the industry gets really overwhelmed with, talking SEO. A lot of spa owners, all of a sudden their eyes glaze over there and it's kind of like, wah, 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 like the Peanuts teacher, Charlie Brown. So even we want you to hear it. We want you to write down these pieces of the checklist. And even if you don't know how to do it yourself, at least you'll understand a little bit more about what an SEO specialist is talking about if you choose to outsource this. Yeah. And of course, not all SEO specialists are SEO specialists. And so it just helps you to make better decisions in terms of who you're outsourcing your marketing to. So when you know more, you can ask better questions and then you get better answers. So that's our intention for today. I think most of our spa owners in the industry don't do their SEO, very few. But we're hoping that this kind of at least gets you to have a little bit of knowledge so that you can leverage that knowledge and make it work on your website. All right, so let's dive in. What have you got for number 1 on the SEO checklists?
SEO checklist number 1 is keywords. And that is essentially all your copy that goes into your website should have strategic keywords in there. And what those keywords are is, in layman's terms, what your customers are searching for when they go into the search bar on Google and they type in the information that they want to get the results for. So if they come in and they want anti-aging skincare, then they're going to type in best anti-aging skincare. If they want anti-aging skincare in their location, then they might type in, Vancouver anti-aging skincare or Vancouver anti-aging facial clinic. So we call those long tail keywords because it's essentially a small sentence that, most consumers think off the top of their head, okay, this is what I need. And so those keywords are super important to have in there that are what people are going to be searching for. There's tools that you can use to find those. If you've got an SEO specialist, they would know where to go and look for them. But you're not talking, spa terminology in a sense where they wouldn't understand. They don't need these high level, that spa talk that's maybe too clinical for them or too ingredient savvy that maybe they wouldn't understand. You're talking just, kind of everyday sentences that people would think to type in for the information that they're looking for. And so you want to make sure you don't want to splash your whole website with, every single sentence having all these keywords in. But what you do need to do is place those keywords that you have found or your SEO specialist has found to be top searches. And so you place those strategically into your website, and that can be in your service descriptions, your product descriptions, in your about section, anything, so that, because like I said, Google will crawl your website and they'll crawl all your pages and they'll crawl them really, really fast. So it happens, in lightning speed. So you want to make sure that you plug those keywords into there.
So one of the things I wanted to share with spa owners today was how to recognize keywords, like the long tail ones and just kind of the individual ones, on either their website or other spas website, or even just any website in particular, just allowing you to start recognizing how this is actually working. So what you'll often see with a site that's been SEO optimized, like on the homepage, you'll often see some sort of copy about like maybe a mission statement, but it will also include the location. So it'll say something like, Vancouver skin therapy clinic, that blah, blah, blah. And so that location the location keyword is that's been strategically placed for SEO. So that when people are typing in facial Vancouver, then it's considered like super relevant, and that's how Google's ranking you there for that one.
They'll recognize that. So you want to make sure that you have, short keywords, single keywords, and long tail keywords. And again, those are sentences that most people would type in, location, service, product, and outcomes as well. So you want to make sure that, because most people are looking for solutions. So again, back to the anti-aging skincare, or, acne treatment in Vancouver. We're using Vancouver. Shout out to Vancouver.
all Vancouver owners out there.
So having those service and retail outcomes in there as well too, what results they're going to get, because likeliness they're going to go and be searching for results versus a specific product or a specific facial that you might have on your website. So
I sometimes see in Facebook groups, especially the new solos, they try to get fancy with naming their services sometimes. And while I kind of understand where they're coming from, they're trying to be different, but that can kind of turn around and bite you in the butt as well. Because if you're making a name for something that people can't tie together with those searches that they are looking for, then that's one place where you're kind of missing the mark. But so you don't want to get too creative so that consumers won't even know what to search for to find you. But you also don't want to be too general in terms of, when you're doing service descriptions or product descriptions, that they're too general in terms of like just buzzwords like rejuvenating, so that's why we want to make sure that your service descriptions and your product descriptions have features and benefits or outcomes in there, because think about you as a consumer. When you're searching for something, you're usually typing in some sort of feature of it, like Delia, like you said, like acne skincare or acne safe skincare. So we want to make sure that our service descriptions are not too flowery, but they've got the features, some key features. You don't need to put every single step of your service in there, but just the key ones, and then those key outcomes of what they're going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So that's keywords. Okay, let's move on to number 2.
Yep. The next one is meta descriptions. And what that is so when you go onto a search engine and you'll see those listings come up, you'll see those results come up, and you usually got a title for what it is that you've searched. And then you've got that small little description underneath that title. And so those are meta descriptions. And what that is just a short little blurb to very succinctly tell the visitor what they can expect when they click on that link. And so you need to keep it short and sweet, but still have those key elements in there so that they can, like within 300 characters, they can really get a solid grasp of what it is that they'll be clicking on. And so those meta descriptions, it'll be on your website to be able to pop those in. Kirsten, last time you showed a quick demo of what that would look like in the back end of your website. And so that's where you.
With the meta descriptions, that's also like if you're sharing a link on social media, and so you've got, usually it shows a picture if you put a picture with your website, and then you've got the heading, and then there's like that little chunk of copy right under this. That's the meta description in there, right?
Meta description, yeah, just a very short description that explains what that title is. Yeah, and you'll have meta descriptions for each page that you have throughout your website. So you could have a meta description for your home page, the about page, your services page, your product page, that type of thing. So each of those descriptions, and again, sometimes you'll notice on search results when they come up, you might get like a search result for your spa, but it might say Facebook. or it might say home, right? You'll get those different levels of searches. And the reason why some of those, Facebook pages come up more so than something on your website would is likeliness is that you're talking maybe more about those features and benefits and you've got those keywords in there. So those are ranking higher than some of your other pages. And I mean, it can work the other way as well too, if you've got a really great optimized website. So
I do see a lot of small solos that what shows up in SEO is their Facebook page more often than not.
Because, and sometimes they're just more active on that, and maybe the website could be a little bit more dormant, or, you're planning on working on it and updating it, but you haven't yet, but you're just maybe more active on social media.
And so this is where those questions that spa owners are like, how do I get more traffic? I'm posting every day on social media, and and it's still not, well, okay, that's a flag in the play. And we've got, I think we did a podcast earlier this year talking about making sure, maybe it was last year, 2020, about, don't put all your eggs in one basket in terms of marketing. So, if you're mostly relying on Facebook or Instagram to market and those pages are showing up in your SEO, that's great, but it's also a flag in the play that your website needs some attention in terms of SEO, so that you are not just relying on social media for traffic, that you are relying also on website searches.
Yeah, because essentially, if you get those customers to your website, that's going to give them all the juicy details in there. So
way more than a Facebook page.
Way more than what a Facebook page could, right? They've got quick direct links. The next part is one of our favorites, is alt text. And this is often, I see this a lot when I'm doing research for our spa clients, our digital marketing clients. So the alt text is when you have a picture on your website. The search engines, they cannot identify what those pictures are. So you have to put a little bit of a description on those pictures so that, again, they can index it and they can crawl it properly to understand, okay, that picture is of a facial, or that picture is of, hair removal. And then again, that helps with your SEO rankings. So if you had a picture of a cat and you're talking about, nothing to do with cats, and the description talked about cats, then Google's going to say, no, that's not relevant content. So you have to put a small description to your pictures, and that's called the alt text.
Awesome. So that's one of those things where spa owners, when they're creating their own websites, they totally miss this piece.
It's a big
at it. It's like, oh, I've already got the picture in there. Why do I need an alt text? Like, they just don't understand. So it just gives you that extra boost of crawling from those little bots to be able to rank your site. So even though it seems small and you may not have understood what alt text means, it can just give you that just a little edge up if you have all your images have the alt text on them.
And as we, all of these things on our checklist here is everything, again, that a search engine would, those spiders would crawl on the website. They're looking at all those key pieces on there, and they'll give you a score, and that's your relevancy score. And so that score determines, pardon me?
You can find that relevancy score on your Google Analytics, correct?
Google Analytics. Yep. There's other, Uber Suggest, Moz has spots that you can go on to search for that kind of stuff as well too. Yeah. And then what have we got? We've got title tags is the next one. And the title tag is, you want to just make sure, we just talked about how you've got your different pages, your about page, your home page, your, meet the team. You might have your services and your products page, and so you have to make sure that those pages are titled properly, again, so that everybody knows, including those spiders, they know exactly what that page is going to consist of. And so that could be XYZ Spa and services, XYZ Spa, skincare blog, anything like that. So you're titling, Kirsten Foss Coaching. She's got Kirsten Foss Coaching, Digital Spa Marketing is one of her titles. And so every page that you have on your website should have a consistent title so that everybody can understand what it is.
Perfect. I think some websites, they kind of, I've seen like Wix and Squarespace. I think that might have been some of the free versions or the lower paid versions where that title tag they kind of auto-populate it kind of funny.
In what way?
So, and I think even on my older website, I had this where I had kirstenfoss.com / Bedford theme. Oh, it was the theme, Bedford, and then / So like there was extra stuff in there that didn't get taken out.
Okay, that might be on your URL versus your title.
Okay, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
That's probably on your URL, because you can, what you do for a title page, you actually type that in. So you get to create, or your SEO strategist gets to create the title for it. And then what else? So we've got security. So likeliness of new websites being a secure website. You don't have to really worry about it too much, but you want to make sure that that level of security is there, because it shows Google or any search results that your page is safe, that it's secure, and it also lets your visitors know that they're in a secure website. I actually had this come up the other day when I was doing some research for one of our digital marketing clients. So it was spa related, and searching for content, and I came across a website that said, you know, this site might not be secure. Do you want to continue? And I thought, yeah, I'll go ahead and continue it. But it was likely an older website. There was a certain time where, you know, privacy laws and whatnot came into effect a lot stronger than what they used to be.
Yeah.
And so, you know, this isn't necessarily an issue now, but if you're not getting that HTTPS at the beginning of your URL, or the SSL, those are good indications that that's an unsecure website, and people might shy away from visiting it. So if you've got an older website, if you haven't updated, you may come across those types of things. So it's just something to be aware of.
I think too, most websites, like if it is older, like you haven't updated your site for the past 3 or 4 years. I can't remember when that HTTPS came out as far as this extra security. So if you've got an older site, you haven't done any updates, usually they're prompting you to do the security updates. So you would have to actually probably click an X to not update it, but you might not even realize what it's for. So, you know, if consumers are, you know, doing a search and your page comes up and people click on it, and then this big warning comes up, like, you know, this site might not be secure, most people would click off of it. So that's kind of what we're making sure that you've got in place, that the security on your website is done. And all new websites now, that's just it's a feature that comes with building a website.
Yeah. So
all right. So, okay. So
we've got internal linking.
Number 6 is
that's our internal linking. Yeah. So what that does is, so there's something called a bounce rate. And what that is if somebody comes to your website, there could be different reasons why they might leave your website. And that could be that your site speed is slow, so they don't want to wait around for that spinning little circle to open up the site. It could be that when they came to your website, that what they thought they were going to be looking for wasn't relevant to their needs. Or you've got too much information on your main page, and it doesn't allow people to click through to different pages.
Guilty.
So,
Guilty.
Yeah.
When Delia came on board and we were really looking at my kirstenfoss.com website, my bounce rate was really high. And as you started digging into SEO and your own marketing training, you gave me the realization, like, well, actually your homepage is kind of solving all of their questions for them. So they don't actually need to click onto another page. And so that made my bounce rate really high. So I'm thinking, oh my God, my content isn't relevant. But the problem was that there was actually too much relevant content on one page. So nobody was moving onto a different page.
And you want them to move on to a different page because that keeps them on your website longer. When people stay on your website longer, then those spiders, they're happy. So they will rank your website more relevant, and it will show up on Google search or whatever.
And for my kirstenfoss.com, so my bounce rate was really low, but yet, you know, I was doing some things really well because I was showing up on the first page. Yeah. So I think what I was doing really well was I was blogging consistently. So I had new content on there all the time. Yes. So it was kind of giving us mixed messages, but it didn't mean that I wasn't getting traffic and interest into my business, but it was the homepage that was the problem in diverting.
And the other part to that as well too is you've got great content on your website. So, they will recognize that. And you've also had a website for quite a long time as well too. So you've built up that authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with internal linking is, let's say you had an about page, and then, for an example on Kirsten's website is she's got her about page and then she's got Kirsten's story. And so there's links kind of throughout her whole entire website that says, read Kirsten's story. So it's that call to action, those buttons that are on the website that will direct them to a different page on your website. And so on your homepage, you could have, a little bit of an about, you might have a meet the team, but it's not a full out description of your entire team because you've got a call to action button that read more. And so that would take them to another link on your website to meet the team. Or you might have, maybe a little blurb on there about some of the services that you do. You could say waxing, facials, nail care, let's say, and you would have direct links within that little section on the one page that would link them to those actual pages. And so that's internal linking. And so you want to make sure that you have that placed throughout your website as well too, so that your visitors will go on to different websites and it's recognized that.
Yeah, if any of you are blogging, definitely link back to previous blog posts to get people staying on your site. For those of you that have e-commerce, having you've seen them on other e-commerce sites. There's a product, and then there's other products that other consumers have bought with it, or there's the other products that go well with it, so that it's getting people to click another link and going to a different page. That's how that would look like for an e-commerce site.
Exactly. Yeah. So those are our top 6 SEO checklists. Those are the key elements to what search engines look for, what you need to have on your website, and how to start building your relevancy to rank higher on Google.
All right, so just to review, the checklist that Delia has shared with us are keywords. Number 2 is meta description. Third one is alt text for all your images. Number 4 is making sure you have your title tags. Number 5 is making sure that your security is A-OK, so that your site has that HTTPS in the URL there, the SSL. Mm-hmm. And number 6 is to also make sure that you have internal links. So links going to another page on your website. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Delia, for sharing your knowledge about SEO. It's a big topic. And, I think at this stage, spa owners just need to, they need to be aware at least of these key points so that they can make better decisions about their website, not just kind of wander aimlessly online, thinking and spending a lot of time and energy on their website and still not getting ranked and not understanding why. But of course, if you go down the rabbit hole and Google SEO, that's completely overwhelming. So this is a really, really great place to get started with your SEO on your website. If you are looking for spa specific SEO, we do a lot of copywriting for our clients, and it's like kind of on a project base. So whether that is service descriptions, or you need your copy redone on your website, or you've got a new website coming up, that's definitely what we do here. We're experts on content marketing. We know spa, we know all things spa, and we understand how marketing works with spa. So feel free to send us an email. You can reach me at kirsten@kirstenfoss.com, or you can send a DM on any of our social networks, Facebook or Instagram. And if you like what you hear here on Spa Business Mastery, we'd love it if you gave us a review. So that's it for us for today's Spa Business Mastery podcast. Delia will be here next month. Do we have a topic next month yet, Delia?
I'm not sure.
I think we were actually going to be talking about, I think it had to do with attracting more skincare clients into your spa was what was on the docket. And I'm looking at that now. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So that will be this will be published in May. And in June, you'll be talking about how to attract more skincare clients to your business. Sounds awesome. Good? Awesome. Okay. We'll see everybody then.
Bye.
Bye.